Hey guys, it's ExandShadow here with an update video for you all. So, Banjo-Tooie ended yesterday. Yeah. If some of you guys were wondering what was up with the rapid upload rate I had for Banjo last week, that was mostly just because, well, I wanted to get the thing done. The thing is that I'm sure you guys have all noticed the two rather long delays that Banjo-Tooie had. One like earlier in the spring and like one in the middle of the summer. Like I went more than a month without uploading a part during two of those breaks, and that was mostly just because the past couple of months have been, I'm just gonna say, complicated for me personally and leave it at that. So there were long stretches of time where it was really difficult for me to upload upload parts for Banjo. And that's not really the fault of the game or of you guys. I love Banjo-Tooie. I loved doing this Let's Play. It's just I really wasn't able to do that. So if you were wondering why there were such large breaks in the playthrough, that's pretty much why. Now I the reason why I did Banjo-Tooie Week, which is what I was unofficially calling this like little rapid upload session, last week was just because although I loved the game and I loved making that LP, it's I looked at how much stuff I had left after that long break. Before this, after the second break, I saw that I had 23 parts left, which would have meant doing like a whole another month. If I did a part like 5 parts a week, that meant like another 5 weeks of videos. And seeing as I'm going back to school a week from now, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get that done in time for school, and I knew that getting to school would result in yet another break, which would probably kill any momentum that I had. So I just sort of wanted that done. But anyway, I like to make these update videos after I finish a project, just so that I can ask you guys what you thought of the Let's Play as a whole. Did I do a good job talking about the game itself? Did my commentary make sense? Was my insight interesting? Did I manage to make you laugh at any couple of points? Stuff like that. Just what your thoughts on it as a whole were. After doing a couple of different types of Let's Plays, like I did Kirby 64, which was really just me starting to land on my own feet as a Let's Player, on my own. Then I did Mario Thousand Year Door, which really was sort of a walkthrough more than anything else. And then there was Trauma Center, which I think was more comedy focused because I had the cutscenes to riff on. And then after that, there was Lost Winds, which was, again, sort of a shorter, more analytical thing. And then I've got Banjo, which I feel was sort of a good mix of the two, but I feel like I sort of rambled on a whole lot more than I normally do in that one. And that's mostly just because of the breaks, I didn't really ever remember where I was or what I was doing in the footage that I had shown. Banjo is a very open and freeform game, so if I was heading down one direction, I might think that I'm going to do X jiggy when I'm really doing Y. So I ended up having to correct myself a whole lot in that playthrough, and I didn't feel as focused, even if I feel like I'm starting to mix analysis and humor a little bit better. So that's just sort of where my mind is at the moment. So I feel like in the future, I really need to avoid taking these long breaks, even if they are sometimes unavoidable, because I had recorded the Banjo-Tooie footage like almost like more than 6 months ago now. So I was barely remembering what I was doing at that point. So I think by now, I think I just need to be a little bit more. I need to keep more up to date with my post commentary because I I I'm not going to do stuff live anytime soon because really that style isn't cut out for how I like to talk about games on my own because if any of you guys have seen the couple of streams I've done, and I will still do streams occasionally just if I feel like playing something for fun. But for a more serious Let's Play on my channel, trying to play stuff live and talk about stuff on any sort of deep level is next to impossible. I can't talk about a game's mechanic or deeper elements of a game's story if I also need to be playing the game at the same time. I'm just not that good at multitasking. So, um, yeah, the post commentary is here to stay, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But I'm just going to need to do a better job about post commentating and getting the commentary done sooner after I've finished recording it. So, anyway, as this is probably the part that you guys are most looking forward to, what am I going to do next in the future? Um, Now, this next week, meaning Monday to Friday, I actually do have a small Let's Play prepared, and it's going to be 10 parts long, and I will be uploading 2 parts a day, so one in the morning, in the afternoon. I'm thinking 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but don't quote me on that. I haven't really figured out all of the kinks just yet. So, I'm not going to tell you what this game is. You'll find out tomorrow. But I will say that you all know the game I'm talking about. Most of you are probably very familiar with it, and it's definitely a game. I'm not breaking any new ground by playing this game. It's something that has been done a million times, and I'm sure that you are all familiar with it. So, yeah, that's my quote-unquote next Let's Play, but that's really just something that I recorded last night for fun. I just needed to sort of clear my mind, so I recorded that. And I'm just uploading it just so that I can have something out this next week for you guys. For my next playthrough after that, which is going to be something a little bit longer reaching, I'm actually going to let you guys vote on the game that I'm going to do because, I've got a couple of different choices here that I would like to do, stuff that I'm interested in, but, it's kind of hard for me to pick between them, so I'm going to leave I'm going to leave the choices up to you. Now, how this voting process is going to work, and you have to vote like this, otherwise your vote won't count, is that on the bottom of the page, in the comments section, ExandShadow, will post 5 different comments, and it will say, like this comment if you vote for X. So you like that comment, you put your vote down for that game. The game with the most thumbs up will be the one that I play. So, okay. That's how that works. If you post a comment just saying the name of the game, I'm not counting that. If any thumbs up on those types of comments won't count. I know you guys are going to break this rule anyway because this happens every single time we ever try to vote for anything on YouTube. But please, at least try not to do that. Pretty please. Okay. So, well, why don't we just get started on listing off the different games that I would like to do after my next playthrough. The first one that I'd like to propose is Ghost Trick Phantom Detective for the Nintendo DS. This game was created by the same guys who made the Phoenix Wright series, and you all know how much I love that. And it's the best way I could put it is that it's a puzzle game where you use your powers as a ghost to create a whole bunch of Rube Goldberg-esque devices. So, you'll move a bowling ball onto somebody's head by pushing it with a broom or something like that, by manipulating stuff with your ghost powers. It's a fun game, and it's got an interesting story and nice visuals, and the gameplay is actually really unique. So, I would like to do that, but, I'm letting you guys choose, so yeah, pick that if you're interested in Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. The next game that I would like you guys to consider me playing is Blob 2, which I have for the Wii, but it's also available on the PS3 and 360. Blob 2 is a 3D platformer where you control a character named Blob, and you try to paint all of the buildings in a certain section of town different colors because the bad guys had sucked all the color out of the city. It's a fun sort of little 3D platformer that has a really great soundtrack, and I love the visual design of the whole thing. It's a fun game, so if any of you guys are interested in that, that's also available for voting. The next game that I might like to do is Final Fantasy III for the Nintendo DS. This was originally an NES game, or actually I should say it was originally a Famicom game because it never came out to the United States until this DS version came out. And it's the first Final Fantasy game to introduce the job system, which has been used in other games after that, like 5, and I think 10-2 had something like a job system. And it's a fun little RPG that, it's a fun little game. You know, it's not perfect, but I'd like to cover that because it's a Final Fantasy game that I don't see get a whole lot of attention on YouTube. You know, it's mostly your 4s, 6s, 7s, 9s, 8s. You know, 3 doesn't really get a whole lot of attention, especially the DS version because it's such a hard game to get recorded. So, if you're interested in that, vote for Final Fantasy 3 for the DS. Um, the next game that I'd like you guys to consider is The Last Story for the Nintendo Wii. Now, you guys are probably familiar with this game from the Operation Rainfall thing that happened about a year or two back, and basically it's a game that came out on the Wii a couple of years ago, but only just got brought over to the United States, like in 2012. And it's an action-ish, RPG-ish sort of game that involves strategy, and it's the gameplay is very unique in the last story. And it's not general theme with all these games is that they're not perfect, but they're interesting, and I would really like to talk about them. So the last story would be I think would be a fun game to play through. The thing about it is that this game's about 20 hours, so this is a Let's Play that would be going on for quite some time if you did choose that one. Same thing with Final Fantasy 3. That's a good, 20-hour game at the very least, so you'd be seeing a lot of it if you picked either of those. And the last game that I would like to potentially do is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor Overclocked from the Nintendo DS. Now, this is a remake of the DS Devil Survivor that came out sometime in the 2000s. I don't really remember, but this was one of the first I think the first RPG to ever come out on the Nintendo 3DS, and it's one of my favorite Shin Megami Tensei games just because it sort of mixes the the sort of character-based storyline of the Persona games with the more mature themes of the mainline Shin Megami Tensei stuff. The gameplay wise, it's a strategy RPG similar to Fire Emblem, although it does have its own little interesting things about it to make it not exactly like that. I should say that out of all the games that I've chosen for this poll, this is definitely the longest one because a normal playthrough of this could take like 30 hours, especially if you're reading all the dialogue. And there's like 5 different endings, and I would be covering all of them if I were to do a playthrough of this game. So keep that in mind if you do want me to play this one. It will be going on for quite some time. And if I did do Devil Survivor Overclocked or even Last Story or Final Fantasy 3, I might be doing some other smaller projects at the same time, like uploading 2 videos a day. So just keep that in mind. That some of these videos will go on for quite some time, and again, the longer a series goes on, the more likely it is that I might have to take a break in the middle of it, which sucks, but that's just life. But anyway, those are the 5 games that I have open for consideration. Ghost Trick, The Blob 2, Final Fantasy 3, The Last Story, and Devil Survivor Overclocked. If you're interested in those games, please thumb up the comments that ExandShadow have posted down in the comments box below. And also, please leave a comment just describing what you thought of Banjo-Tooie. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for my next Let's Play project, which again is 10 parts, and is none of those games. And yeah, I hope all this made sense. I've never really been good at getting my ideas across clearly. But that's about it. I'm ExandShadow, and I'll see you guys later.